crises there will continue to be. In meeting them, whether foreign or domestic, great or small, there is a recurring temptation to feel that some spectacular and costly action could become the miraculous solution to all current difficulties. The prospect of domination of the nation's scholars by federal employment, project allocations, and the power of money is ever present and is gravely to be regarded. We must also be alert to the equal and opposite danger that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined. This is a powerful film. We also have another one coming out a week later. You can pre-order that now. Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA. Now, we're going to get more into this top story of the internal White House marked secret ordering the commission to not investigate what actually happened on 9/11. A cover-up. 6 of the 10 commissioners. But Nightline goes on and says, we're lying about that. You are lying. It's been in every major paper that 6 of the 10 say it's a criminal cover-up. They can't even get their own people they've appointed to lie. They know they murdered our own people there. You know the courage it takes for folks to expose that? But we have no future if we don't put ourselves under the gun. Only by facing up to these bullies do we have any chance of beating them. If you have any self-preservation instincts, any love of God, any love of truth, you must. I'm talking to all you well-to-do yuppies and people that think you're part of the system and laugh at anybody that cares. You think you're getting ahead by being narcissistic and never getting involved. You think it's cool and cute what's happening. I've had a lot of businessmen stop me on their Harleys or whatever on the side of the street on Congress and go, hey, you seeing the black helicopters, Alex? And I go, you really think 9/11 isn't an inside job? And they go, so what? We had to do it. That's how things get done. You know, they think because they can buy, I mean, a lot of people in business and life think this is cute. They know. They think that's how you get America motivated. We have all these Pentagon documents where these people need another 9/11 attack. That'll get them motivated. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I appreciate him coming in when we invited him in. And he's going to be here with us for the next 46 minutes. Ronald F. Avery. Ron Avery, he owns the Silver Eagle Tap House. He's an architect, engineer, licensed architect and interior designer in the state of Texas. Ran for U.S. House Representative, 28th District. He's a great guy. He's done countless activist work. He's also headed up a lot of the activity of the Campaign for Liberty and other folks supporting Ron Paul. And he is here with us in studio, and he's going to be heading up a big event this weekend at the Doubletree Hotel. And we have that press release. In fact, we'll get a document cam shot for folks here in a moment, up on Infowars.com. And we'll tell you about some of the speakers that are going to be there. And again, I don't do a lot of public speaking these days because I'm so busy. And I believe electronic media is the way to go because I can reach so many. But I am going to this because I want to support what they're doing. They wanted me to speak for longer. I'm only speak 30 minutes because I want to give more time to the architects, engineers, the former head of Star Wars program, Dr. Bob Bowman, and others that are going to be at the Texas event coming up this Saturday. But Ron, it's good to have you here with us.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Alex.
We're going to break in about 5 minutes, and we'll start getting into your abbreviated breakdown. You're going to be doing this with some larger models and things at the event.
Right.
And we'll also get into this latest news. But how did you get into 9/11 Truth? Tell us about what Architects and Engineers has just done the last month and where all this is going.
Okay, well, I got into it essentially right when it happened on 9/11, 01. I was kind of already in the Patriot movement and had opened the tap house and had patriots there and make special presentations. A lot of people had been predicting that the New World Order would create the police state in America in 2000. And so actually they were a year late. So as soon as I heard about the World Trade Center having collapsed, or one of the towers, I knew right then that this was going to be the event that they were going to bring the New World Order in on, or the police state in America. So I didn't know all the details, how they did it, or how they collapsed, but I did know that it was fishy business right up front.
Absolutely. I mean, as an architect, watching 2 big towers and 7 not hit by a plane, small fires, collapses at free fall speed. NIST had denied that for 6 years. They now admit 6 years into it, 2 years ago, that, oh, yeah, it did fall at free fall.
Yes, at least part of it did. And we're going to have a gentleman there at the meeting, Derek Johnson, and he will speak on Building 7 and the NIST report as well.
The system's getting really scared of 9/11 truth.
Yes, it is, and they should be, because it is really their project, and they've everything in this country now is designed or promoted by what happened, what they claim happened on 9/11. And if they lose that, if they lose the cornerstone, they lose the whole deal.
Well, not just the science of this, which is legion, but the history of governments and our own government admittedly staging terror. And then within minutes on every channel, and this is covered in Fabled Enemies, the same talking points. The world has changed. You're going to have to give your rights up. We're going to have to attack Iraq. Right. Within minutes, they all had the same talking point, and they had CIA operatives as the towers collapsed going, oh, the fires did it. And as you can see the footprint. You can see these operatives on the same channels. BBC did a false start 25 minutes before. Later was admitted Reuters gave it to them. I predicted that because I could tell it was a script, 2 channels simultaneously, and CNN, so 3. The exact cover story of Solomon Brother Building 7 falling exactly how it did before it fell. So just like in Asia and Australia and New Zealand, a few hours before they even released the name, they just arrested him, of Lee Harvey Oswald. It was already in the front page of their papers. So they have some screw-ups. And again, the evidence just goes on and on and on and on. But they did this. There's no doubt.
Oh, I believe it too. Now I will let me say something about that though, because this is the way the media targets people like us that are trying to get to the truth of 9/11, what happened at the World Trade Center and Pentagon. They say, well, I can't, do you actually believe the government had something to do with this? And let me clarify my position on that. When I say, or when someone says government, to me, that means everybody in government. That means everybody in the FBI, everybody in the Central Intelligence Agency, everybody everywhere. And I don't believe that. In fact, I don't believe the FBI had anything to do with 9/11.
In fact, they killed the former anti-terror head. No, I agree with you. It's criminal rogue networks.
But here's what I'd like to say, and this is what none of them have been able to come back on me with, is that I believe we have a foreign military operating in our country and doing these things and pulling these things off, and we have some high political operatives that are protecting these people so they can operate in this country. And if you're an American, you ought to be concerned about a foreign alien army, military operating in our country. We need to discover these people and get them out of here.
And I would guess you're talking about Israeli involvement?
I sure am.
All right, well, you can go there, and we'll also talk about how all these intelligence agencies interlock. We're going to go over a presentation as well with Ron Avery, and we're going to tell you about the event coming up this Saturday, Doubletree Hotel.
You can go to meetup.com /Tap House. That has a lot of details on it. I believe you can go to Facebook, and we have a Texas Architects and Engineers page there that you can look at.
We Are Change San Antonio.
That's right. We Are Change San Antonio. What else? SilverEagleTapHouse.com. We'll have some things on it, and you can chip in there if you want to. We'll need a little money to pay for this big room we're getting.
Now, is the event free? I haven't even checked.
It is free. We advertise it as free. We are asking for a donation.
Folks that don't know, renting a 600-person room at a nice hotel is expensive.
Yes, it is. And so we would sure appreciate any donation. If each person just donated $6, we would clear everything. And
where do you do this? Where do you donate?
Excuse me?
Can they just put it in the kitty when they get there?
They sure can. They sure can. And hopefully they can be marked. I think they will be marked so they can come and go all day. It is an 8-hour event. It's a big thing.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about some of the itinerary, but let's get into the subject that you brought up. I don't get into this a lot because it's so complex and it can be used either way. And the establishment from day one always like to say, look at these 9/11 truthers are saying Israel did it. When you look at England, Israel, the United States, the Anglo-American establishment, as it's called, I think it was Anglo people. That's just what the globalists call it. These intelligence agencies are all merged, and it's what Tarpley, and I agree with him in his book Synthetic Terror, it's groups from all of these organizations. It's like Al-Qaeda got Saudi Arabian funding, Pakistani, Israeli, U.S., and British. It's always the same actors, but I do agree that they find a strong brigade for all. I mean, it's been in the Haaretz and Jerusalem Post that Israel has fake Al-Qaeda groups.
I wouldn't doubt that. You're into a lot more of that than I am. All I know is I'm a Christian, and I know what the Western civilization should have been, and it is not based on Israel and Judaism. They always say the Judeo-Christian way. Well, that's like saying the night and day way. Christianity, yes, came from Judaism, but it is not Judaism, and the two really don't mix well.
Isn't it more complex than that? Christianity comes from the ancient Judaism of Mount Sinai, not the Jews going into captivity in different parts of the world and adopting the Babylonian Talmud.
And there, I don't go there either. There's a lot of talk about this and that, who the real Jews are, who the fake Jews are. My perspective is the Jew is one who accepts Christ as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and Savior of the cosmos and everything in it. Now, those that reject him become by nature the Antichrist, those that do not believe that the Savior of all mankind has come in the flesh of Jesus Christ. Now, I don't really even want to go much more there.
Okay, but you brought it up, and we don't censor people.
Okay.
And so you're here, and you brought it up, so I wanted to get into it with you. Okay, this is a short segment. We got to get going here with the presentation. Okay. Break down the itinerary coming up Saturday, where it is.
It will be at the DoubleTree Hotel in North Austin at IH 35 and near the north of the intersection of 290.
DoubleTree Hotel, 6505 IH 35, North Austin, 78753.
That's correct. And it will be as you go in the room there, it'll in the main lobby, it'll be back behind the elevators. And we have the two sections of the ballroom. It will seat slightly over 500, I would believe.
Well, that's going to be interesting. And it goes from, 1 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night?
That is right. That is right. And it will be live streamed. We want people to come see it, of course, live. You'll have a lot more fun doing that. But you can see it later if you missed it. It will be archived, and that website is liveonlocation.com. And it will be filmed live, so you can watch it live if you can't make it down there on the internet. And
my IT guy said the last prefix is TV.
I believe you're right. I believe you. Thank you for correcting me. That is liveonlocation.tv.
What we'll do is on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, we will link to that for people coming up Saturday.
Great. That'd be super.
Because it'll be a subsection of that site, but people can search through it.
I also want to mention this, Alex, that Deborah Stevens will be also broadcasting it live on radio at 90.1 FM all day long as well, on live on location. Oh,
good, for folks here locally in Austin.
Right.
All right. Very, very exciting. We'll be right back. On the other side, we got to hurry because this is a long segment coming up. We're going to run out of time quick and start getting into the presentation. But the most important thing is to get media at all 50 locations nationwide. In your state, call the media, tell them be there, and tell the media in Central Texas to be at this event Saturday. Stay with us.